Oh, hey, didn't see you there. You know, I'm Jose. I'm just here to introduce the show. You know, the one where we talk about movies that are pretentious as fuck.
But we try not to be pretentious about it.
We are, though.
We're just a couple cinephiles
Don't say
having
it.
some discourse.
I feel like I'm going to give up on this fight real soon and just let you name it Cinephile Discourse.
What's the name of the show, Mark?
It's Bags of Class.
And
Or maybe, who knows, next time, Cinephile Discourse. Today we watched another Czech New Wave film. It's called The Joke. It's directed by, hold on, Jarmil Zhursek. I'm probably getting that completely wrong.
You're for sure saying that wrong.
I'll go with Jarmil Jursik. So,
Okay, Jose, what are you going
better's our odds.
Jarmil Irisik.
with? Okay. He's apparently a very influential Czech New Wave director. But he tends to, from what I've read, tends to do stuff that's very politically active. I would feel like this film is definitely falls in that category. But it actually got him into trouble with the Soviets, who did not like the kind of movies he was making.
That doesn't sound like the Soviets.
I know, they're so like open and free. But
Well, I thought they were upset because it was boring.
no, they like. Come on, Soviet filmmaking. It's boring.
No, it's good, though.
It's good, but it's boring.
Give
It
me
can
one
be both.
example.
Anything by Tarkovsky.
You shut your fucking mouth.
I didn't say they're bad. I said they're good, but come on. They
They're
don't put you to sleep.
their
The
chores.
soccer is so good.
It is, but we'll talk about Stalker when we get to Tarkovsky. But so this was made in 1968, premiered in '69, the same year as the Soviet or the Prague Spring. So after World War II, Czechoslovakia is communist. May 1st, 1949, the communists got into power. But in 1968, in January, there was a thing called the Prague Spring, where a very liberal politician got into power and was going to give...
I thought Prague Spring is when, like, all, like, the... whatchamacallit, the fuckers with the beards, they go off and, like, they let loose for a year or something. Or is that Romspringen?
That's Romspringen.
Okay, my bad.
Same derivation of word, I'm sure. But soon, it only lasted for a couple months, and that's kind of when this movie was made. Because in September, I want to say, of 1969 or 68, the Soviets invaded to take back control of Czechoslovakia, and they immediately banned this movie, and it hadn't been seen for 20 years, I think it was.
Wow.
Yeah, but they don't fuck around when they ban shit. The Soviets.
Apparently not.
The Soviets don't fuck around.
I feel like most of the movies in this box set are going to be have been banned at one point or the other. Because Daisies was banned, this was banned. I'm pretty sure a couple other ones were definitely banned.
And
So our protagonist, Ludwig,
Ludwig.
he the movie starts off and he's being interviewed by a young woman,
she's not that young.
An old hag.
a middle-aged woman,
Yeah, not young.
and
Let's get into some fucking stuff.
and we get a little bit of insight into his background because he has some sort of connection with the woman's husband, and then he sets up to go on a date with her, and he wants to exact some form of revenge on the woman's husband, and he thinks that he's gonna force her to commit adultery and this and that, and then through flashbacks we go into his story, and Ludwig, we find out, was a member of their Communist Party. And what happens from there is we're shown the relationship between him and his girlfriend at the time.
Can you remember her name? Anybody?
No. And then, but from there, the setup is that his through the flashbacks, we sort of it will reveal why he has this vendetta that he has.
Like, he makes a joke, the titular joke, and that basically gets him expelled.
Yeah.
So
It felt longer than an hour and 10-minute movie, though.
you're right. I was
Which is really weird to say because I didn't think it was bad, but it did drag a little bit, which is really crazy. It's a very short film, but it did not feel like a short film at all.
And this is us talking. Like,
Yeah.
we'll watch some long movies.
Yeah, this felt every bit of those 70 minutes, but more somehow.
Yeah. It was definitely a longer movie than its running time, and I think part of that is the narrative structure. I think probably contributed to that a little bit because when they like jumped around as much as they did, I felt like it sort of felt like it was extending the sort of plot, and it was more of a slog because of that.
I did like, though, at the beginning when you see the flashbacks, they're all first person.
I know, I like that also.
And,
yeah.
like, so he's, like, walking down the street, and they, like, his reverse shot is the flashback. I like that.
That was my favorite thing of the movie.
Yeah.
It, like, so it was, like, and it, like, yeah, it was just done in the flashbacks.
Yeah.
And it reminded me very, like, it was, like, something, like the way it played with like memory in that way, but then like the first person, like the shots where the first person reminded me of like Ozu or something like that.
I can see that. But
So yeah,
he didn't quite mesh everything together well, but it was definitely something interesting to be like, oh, everything's first person, and all the reverse shots that we see is between the present day and the past.
Yeah.
But then they stop it when he gets to into the army.
Yeah.
Which I was like, well, keep going. Like, you've already pot committed at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ed, this was the one in the box set that I think you said you were most excited to see.
I was.
What did you like it? Did it meet your expectations? What was going on there?
I liked it. I wouldn't say it met my expectations. I do feel like it was a little bit of, like as we said, it was a little bit of a slog to get through at times. And just you know, the character, the lead, you're sort of like, even when you do come to learn about his backstory and why he's, you know, motivated to do what he's doing, still not a very likable guy.
No.
Old Ludwig?
Old Ludwig.
He's very unattractive.
Yeah.
Very, like, kind of like shitty.
But when he wears that mesh shirt, baby, ooh!
Yeah, no, he does love his mesh undershirts.
Yeah.
Like, this is this movie's watermelon. It just, like, because, like, you see his mesh undershirt like really early, like 5 minutes in or something.
Oh, like right away. The first scene.
Yeah.
He's like, so is he a doctor, or what? Because
I thought he was a professor.
I thought he was a professor.
Okay.
He could be a doctor.
He was wearing like, well, maybe a professor, like, because the first scene that takes place is her interviewing Pavel's, her husband's name, wife, is interviewing Ludwig. And, like, it looks like he's got a lab coat on, but the only thing he has underneath is the mesh shirt. Which is an interesting look, either if you're a doctor or a professor.
I feel like the director was like, guys, we have to get something that just sort of exudes confidence.
We need to get something that shows that not only is he intelligent, because he's a professor/doctor, because we don't know, but he's a professor/doctor, but we also have to let people know he's down to fuck. Mesh shirt. Mesh undershirt.
It's funny. It does immediately make you dislike him. Like, I don't know if it's a thing that people back in the day would think, but for us, we were just like, oh, I don't like this guy. Like, immediately we're like, I don't like the mesh shirt look. So
all he needed was the
creeper.
gold chain and the tooth.
And the way he tries to seduce her is creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
It's like, there's a part where he's like,
take off your clothes.
Yeah, no, like that, whatever. It's like,
okay.
It's creepy enough, but like the thing I'm thinking of is like when they're drinking and it's just a close up of him and you see his like tongue poke out. I was like, why?
Oh, he does one of these.
Yeah. Essentially, and it's like, oh, that's okay. So he's seducing her.
It's an interesting choice.
Yeah. No, it's my least favorite of like I've seen Daisies. The one on the disc with it, Capricious Summer, I really enjoyed. But this, I was just kind of like, oh, okay, didn't really need to watch that.
Yeah.
But you know,
I did read when I was looking up how to pronounce dude's name. I did read that Yarmil. I did read that this was one of the last movies of the Czech New Wave. Like it was sort of like it was the end, sort of nearing the end of the Czech New Wave, which I found interesting because this movie definitely like. I mean, you've seen more of the films on the box set. I'm only comparing this to Daisies, but this movie like tonally it did seem like more jaded than you know the tone of Daisies to me. So it was like it was like yeah, I mean like you could tell like at this point they were just fed up.
Well, like yeah, like at this point the point they were making is like probably the Soviets were going to be invading. They fucking knew about it.
Yeah.
They had just gotten a taste of like freedom because like a lot of these movies from what I've read happened in this time period between January 1968 and September 1968.
Yeah.
When this guy got elected and then the Soviets invaded to get like them back basically. And so like a lot of this stuff is like, oh, we're free. We can make all these weird movies. And the Soviets were like, nope.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. We're going to ban everything you do.
Yeah.
But it is interesting because, like, of all the other ones I've seen, there's a surreal tinge to a lot of them. Like, Daisies has a surreal feel to it. One we'll watch later, Reports on a Party and the Guest, has a very surreal vibe to it. Even Gregarious Summer, or Capricious Summer, whatever the fuck that name of that movie is more...
Oh my god,
normal,
let me tell you about
but
my
it's
summer plans.
Definitely has a weirdness to it that this movie doesn't have. This movie's played completely straight.
It is, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if we've said anything too nice about this movie so far.
I mean, like I like the angle, the reverse shot of like
it was
the times.
Yeah, that
like
was
that a lot.
That was definitely what I clung to the most to was that was well done and that was interesting. It was definitely an interesting way to incorporate the flashbacks.
And I think like for me it was knowing like the time period that this was made and like I've talked about it on Daisies. The Daisies episode is with how what they were doing was rebelling against communism and totalitarianism and all that stuff, Stalinism. So like how brave that was. Just as a movie, like when we watch it, if you don't know the history of it and you just watch it, you're just kind of like, oh, okay.
I think the actor who played Ludwig actually did a good job because I'm pretty sure they were going for him not to be likable.
Oh yeah.
So I think he did a good job in that.
He's like a bitter man. You know?
True. Yeah. No, you're right.
Let's just give our final reviews then.
Oh, this is such a downbeat. Like we did not like this movie.
I'll get us started. No, I wouldn't recommend this to someone. 2.5 out of 5 stars.
Ed?
3 out of 5. I will say to what you just said. I think the problem isn't actually that we didn't like this movie. I think if we hated this movie, this episode might be more like we'd be more passionate.
Energetic. Yeah, we're just.
We're just all like mad on the movie.
Yeah.
So I would say 3 out of 5.
And I'm assuming you wouldn't recommend.
No, I wouldn't. No.
I wouldn't recommend it either. Yeah. I mean, 2.5. Yeah.
We're all.
I don't think
we're all in the hand-holding club. Because we're relatively in the same ballpark of our scores. We can let go of hands up.
No.
Okay.
Live in it.
But thanks for watching. Subscribe, like. Even if you don't like it, still subscribe. Don't be a piece of shit. Come on.